Hey y'all, I want to welcome you back to Zoar PFWB Church. We're doing another episode of In the Kitchen with Rob and Owen. And I want to welcome everyone. I know people will be signing on and everything. And so I'm going to go over some stuff we're going to do tonight. I'm going to do another dish. It's a shrimp and pasta dish. It's a very simple dish. It's a favorite comfort food of mine. Everybody has a comfort food that they love to eat when they're by themselves, or just something quick that you like to eat when your family's not around and you want to have that comfort food. People say macaroni and cheese is their comfort food, or a man might say a good steak is his comfort food, but mine is the shrimp and pasta. So I'm going to share that recipe with you today. Before we get started here at the kitchen today, it's me and my husband. He's in the background running the camera today, and so it's just us. I'm going to share a little devotion with you today. My devotions that I come up with, they come out of this book I have, and some people may know about these books, some may not. It's just a book that I like to read. There's several different versions of them. My books come from High Cotton here in Clinton. I think you can get them at Matthews Drugs, and I think you can even get some at the Bible bookstores if you can find a Bible bookstore. I know some of them have closed. But this one right here is called Devotions from the Kitchen Table. I also have one that's called Devotions from the Front Porch. They have, I think, one Devotions from the Beach. They just have several series, and these are very great books for you to give as a gift, or just go in and buy one and take a quiet moment with your comfort food and open it up and just read it, because I'm sure you'll enjoy it just like I do mine. My devotion today that I'm going to read for you is called The First Dish. I thought this was a cute one to read that may touch someone today, may help them understand something they've gone through. This devotion kind of touched me a little bit. It's been a couple years ago. I felt that I lost my hope. Some things went on, and I was in a bad place, and I felt I had lost my hope. And reading these books, and my family and my friends, they helped me get through that time, and they helped me find my hope. And you get busy in the hustle and bustle, and you get used to doing things, and sometimes you don't praise the Lord and do like you should with the Lord. And like I said, things happen. I lost my hope, and I know I'm not the only one that has ever lost their way or lost their hope. You can always find it back when you bring Jesus back in your heart and you let Him solve your problems, because He will solve those problems for you. But I'm going to read this today right quick, and then we'll get to cooking this meal, okay? Like I said, it's called The First Dish. It says, "You have forsaken the love you had at first." Revelations 2:4. It says, "What's the first meal you learned to make? Perhaps it was spaghetti, sloppy joes, or some sort of casserole. Did you feel like you were invincible? The first time you made a successful dish, we're usually pretty proud of those first culinary creations, and we tend to serve them pretty consistently. Maybe you had ramen noodles your entire freshman year of college, or you served your new husband a sweet potato casserole for a sweet forever. Those meals seem positively delightful when we're basking in the 'look what I can do' glow. But how do they seem several years later? If someone served you a bowl of ramen noodles today, would you give a sentimental smile, or would you have to pass? In the book of Revelations, God gave his assessment of 7 churches, letting them know what they had been doing well and what areas needed improvement. He had many good things to point out regarding the church in Ephesians. They exhibited great patience, discernment, and endurance, yet God warned them to be careful regarding one aspect of their ministry. They no longer had the love they had at first. They were doing all the right things, they were pressing on, but without passion, they had lost the love. It's easy to do, isn't it? Don't we do the very same thing in various areas of our life? We find ourselves doing the tasks associated with our roles as spouse, parent, caretaker, employee, but without any of the joy that once fueled us. We do things out of obligation instead of desire. We eat the sloppy joes just to ease the hunger, forgetting that we once craved them. If we aren't careful, this temptation to grow cold can creep into our relationship with Jesus. We still pray with a little less passion. We still study Scripture, but with a little less enthusiasm. We serve others, but with a little less love. Let's be intentional about keeping the spark alive, and if we need to, reclaim the love we had at first. We shouldn't forget that it was like before God intervened. Even if we have been believers for decades, let's ask God to give us the passion that we felt when the love was new. Forgive me, Lord, for the times when I make you just another item on my to-do list. Ignite a fire in my soul for you. First dish. So I thought that was just a good little devotion that I would like to share with you today. So I'm going to ask my husband if he will say a prayer for us, and then we can get started on this dish.
Dear Lord, thank you once again for allowing Robin to come into your home tonight with a devotion and inspiration with a recipe for you to try. Bless her now as she prepares this meal and teaches you how to make it. Also, bless all of our shut-ins, sick and afflicted, and all families struggling during this pandemic, and all those watching and listening in with us tonight. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. So, like I said, this is a shrimp and pasta dish that I've come up with. It's just something very simple, and this is my comfort food. And while I'm doing this, I would love for my audience that is watching my video, if you would just, when you sign on, just say what your comfort food is. I would love to know what everybody eats as their comfort food. So what I have here, I have some shrimp, and I take the easy route. I go buy the frozen shrimp from the grocery store. If you like the little cocktail shrimp, you can get those. These are the actual large shrimp here. They've already been cleaned, deveined, everything. So those are ready to go. You just kind of thaw them out a little bit. You know, I always recommend use fresh, but you know, these day and times, everything is so quick. You've got to get home from work, you've got to get a meal. So if I can do a shortcut, I'm going to do a shortcut. So here is my shrimp that I'm going to use today. In this recipe here, I'm going to use some garlic. And I use like a tablespoon of garlic. The olive oil, you can use any olive oil that you want to. It doesn't matter. I don't buy the expensive because to me it doesn't taste really any different in a meal. So I do a 1/3 cup of olive oil. I do some parsley. When I can get it fresh, I do get it fresh, because now your parsleys and your seasoning and stuff like that, if you can get that fresh, I would advise that. That's a good thing to do. But if you don't fret. You got it right here. And then I use a 1/2 stick of butter. Yes, I'm using butter again. And then spaghetti noodles. And I've already cooked my spaghetti noodles, so we won't have to wait so long tonight to see this meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop my olive oil in my skillet. And, you know, I'm telling you the measurements, and I will put this recipe up in the after the video. It'll go up so you can copy it, or you can send me a message, and I will send you a copy of it. I'm gonna add the half a stick of butter so we can go ahead and get this melting. I'm gonna turn this on because I forgot to turn it on. And it doesn't take long when you're cooking shrimp. You're looking for that little pink look. They'll turn pink and they'll kind of swivel up just a little bit. Now you don't want to overcook shrimp, because if you overcook shrimp, it's like eating rubber, and that you just don't want that. It's not very well. So as this is melting here, I go ahead and I'm going to put a tablespoon of garlic. Now this garlic is optional. You know, everybody doesn't like garlic, or they can't eat it for medical reasons or whatever. I love garlic, so I do a heaping tablespoon of garlic, and it's just any kind of mint. You can get fresh garlic, chop it up, but this right here I buy it from Sam's, Walmart. It's very cheap and it lasts me a long time. So this is a good item to use when you're doing that. And then once that starts just kind of melting, and get that garlic in there, it would be nice if we had smell-o-vision, because this smells so good, y'all. And of course, anytime you've got butter in something, it's going to make it all right. So I think I've got this butter just about melted, and the garlic is cooking down. Now, you do not want to cook this garlic and burn it. You do have to watch your temperature when you are cooking garlic, because if you let this burn and scorch in your skillet, it will not taste good. It will turn bitter. So it's not going to be very good. So you kind of have to watch it. You can't really walk away from it. And now I'm going to add my shrimp. And like I said, these has already been detailed, deveined, and cleaned. And you can make this for a large crowd. If you have a crowd that likes shrimp, you can always double, triple, whatever you want to make it a larger dish. But in my family, Teddy does not like the shrimp and pasta. He'd rather have a hamburger steak. And so usually when I cook this, it's just me, it's for me, and I'll cook this size pan, and it'll last me a couple of days. I'll eat on it. But when you're cooking this shrimp, again, like I said, you want this pink look that the shrimp will turn out to be. You don't want to overcook it, so it only take a couple minutes for this shrimp to cook. And then, of course, you already have your spaghetti. You can cook it a day before. If you want to put it in the fridge, just make sure you put some olive oil, because pasta dries out quick if you don't add some olive oil. If you just let it sit, or you put it in the refrigerator, just kind of keep it in a container and keep a little oil on it, and it'll keep for a day or two. If you don't want to, do it right then. And you can just go through and kind of flip your shrimp over. You're just kind of basically sauteing them in this. Now, I do add salt and pepper to this recipe. However, I do it when I boil it. When I put it in a bowl and serve it, then I'll put salt and pepper. Everybody doesn't do salt and pepper, and so I just I don't really cook with salt and pepper. I let everybody kind of salt and pepper their own. Nowadays, you don't know who can eat it or not, so it's just best to leave it out and do it. So now, as these are cooking up, I'm going to add my parsley. And you just do as you like. If you like a lot of parsley, you can add whatever. I just kind of eyeball it, so I would say a teaspoon of parsley if you want it. That's up to you. Some people, they don't like parsley. They don't want to eat it. So it's truly up to you what you want to use. And I'm going to try to slide this in here so you can see this as it cooks, and it smells so good. And like I said, if you're just joining in and you're late watching, we're doing a shrimp and pasta dish. Very simple. I'll do a recap. We're doing some clean shrimp already, and we're just cooking this up in some butter and some garlic and some olive oil. And we're getting it just sauteed up. We've already cooked our noodles, so we're going to add these noodles. And like I said, if you're joining in, please put down what your comfort meal is. I would love to know what your comfort meal is. Everybody has so many different recipes they like to use and cook, and I love somebody to talk to me about a recipe, especially if it's something that's been passed down in your family. I just think that's the best. You know, people tell you, my meemaw used to cook so-and-so. Or, you know, my meemaw used to cook this. So, I love listening to those stories. I do. And, so we've got our shrimp. It's, done. So what you do, you just take your noodles. Nice. Stick them together there a little bit, but they'll loosen back up when they get this oil on them. And if you don't like spaghetti noodles and you want to use some other kind of noodle, you do not have to do spaghetti. I mean, you could do a bow tie pasta. And there's other things, you know, some people say, well, I don't like the olive oil. Well, I do this recipe another way, and I'll just share it right quick. You can do the butter and get the shrimp in there and get it buttered. And you can do a cream sauce, and you can add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to that butter and that cream and let it cook, and it's more a fettuccine type pasta if you wanted to do the fettuccine noodles with this, and you know, cook it that way. There's so many combinations you can do a shrimp and pasta dish. Some people like to put a little bit of pepper in here to just give it, you know, a little heat, in other words. So the red pepper flakes, you can definitely put that in if you like a little heat, and add that to it. So this is, it's coming along, and man, it smells good. And while this is finishing up, I do want to say I hope y'all are enjoying our videos on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We air them live there. Well, I say we air them live. We go live, but these videos, a lot of them sometimes are pre-recorded. So I hope you understand we don't always have time to go directly live, but we try to when we can. But we also have other social media. We just had a movie night last night, and that was awesome. It was Facing the Giants. And that had a really good storyline to it. And we had so many come out and enjoy that. And we'll definitely be doing another event like that in the future. So I hope you do check out our social media accounts and look and see what we're posting. We always have something going on. And we would love to have you come out and join us. A Wednesday night, a Sunday morning, or even if we have an event and you want to come out and join us for that, we would love to have you join us. So this is done. We've got this all worked up now. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And I'm going to kind of tip this forward to kind of let you see. This is my shrimp pasta. And it smells wonderful, especially if you love to smell garlic like I do. But it has definitely turned out. And I hope if you like shrimp and pasta and you like that kind of meal, that you try this, because it is a very simple recipe to do. And like I said, I'll post it up after the video. And I also want to say, anybody that has logged in to the Zoar Facebook live session and you watching my video tonight, you will be, as you enter, you'll be entered a number, and I will be giving a free cookbook away. I gave a free cookbook last week, and Lynn Faircloth was my winner, and she was tickled to death to get that cookbook, and I love that. I love to see people excited about getting cookbooks and trying new things and cooking in the kitchen. So I'm going to do the same thing this Monday night. We'll be taking the numbers as you enter, and you'll be in a drawing, and before the video ends, I will put the name of the winner up for you to see. But this is the cookbook. This is Zoar cookbook right here. The ladies of Zoar, if you didn't watch my last video, the ladies of Zoar got together. They got all their recipes, family recipes, got it in this book, and it's made. We sell this book for $20. It's an awesome book. I would suggest if you have friends, family that love to cook, or I have found people just collect cookbooks. They don't even necessarily cook, but they collect the books. So this would be a good gift for them, definitely, or if you just want to buy it for yourself. So we do have these, so you can contact me, and I will definitely get you a book and get you hooked up with it. But like I said, I will be giving one of these away free after my video, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed my video tonight, and if you try this dish, drop me a note, let me know how you enjoyed it, because I would really like to hear from you. And I thank you, and I wish everybody a good night.